Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I'll be doing a real quick update right now on Bitcoin and the current spring that we had just a little bit ago. So thanks for joining. I'm going to start, with the normal disclaimers that this isn't financial advice. You're responsible for your own trades, manage your risk, and manage your capital appropriately. I'm here just giving my opinion on the market, and you should be doing your own research and, basically knowing that this is a highly volatile market. You should only be risking what you are willing to lose. Um, as with anything, right? So okay, well let me go ahead and pull into what we're looking at here. A couple things that I want to point out. So I did a little video yesterday talking about the fib retracement that we have on here, where we went from the bottom up to the top, so down from about 7,300 up to about 10,600 or so. And then we've been doing this pullback, and we've been sort of waiting for some kind of a bullish reaction. And I'm looking at a 12-hour time frame right now. So we've been waiting for some kind of a bullish reaction, and we finally just had a little bit of a spring on that push down below 9,000 just a couple hours ago, maybe an hour ago or so. If I go down to an hourly time frame, yeah, it was about 2 hours ago. We did push down a little bit lower. I was talking a bit on the video yesterday about, some targets that we had to the downside. We hadn't really touched that 50% again, but we got very close, and we touched it back here. We haven't broken those lows yet. So, when I talk a lot about trading ranges, this is kind of what I'm looking at as far as trading ranges go, starting from the bottom here and moving up to the top. And in my opinion, this is really what's going to be generating or creating trading range. So let me just go ahead and change the highlight of this. We're going to keep this on here, at least for the time being. I'm going to turn down the opacity so that it's there, but it's not really intrusive on our chart. So I do think that this is something that we do need to pay attention to. So let's just put that there. All right, good. So we've got that. And so what we did, of course, we were talking a little bit on the Discord yesterday about, buying at 9,000. Is the price going to get to 9,000? Back here, it got to about 9,060. At the time, I was pretty frustrated because I had some leverage longs at about 9,050, and they didn't fill. And naturally, we had a good reaction off of that. And at the time, I thought to myself that this was a good reaction, and we were likely going to continue moving up. But then, I kind of put that into check and, stopped thinking in those ways. And I thought that, we were going to come back down to 9,000. Sure enough, we did. We had a little bit of a bottom forming here at about 9,050. Naturally, we had a good spring here. And then, of course, we had our lows from October 26th down here in this area from about 8,900 up to about 9,030 or so. And we're continuing to keep that bottoming formation down here, and the oscillators are actually looking pretty good. If we take a look at the Stokes, we can see that they're starting to curl to the upside. We have our 3 hours are looking pretty good. The 1 hour is looking pretty good. And as far as the squeeze goes, it looks like we're going to be squeezing to the upside. And I don't mean a short squeeze or a long squeeze. I mean a squeeze on our Bollinger Bands as far as as an expansionary phase, moving out of our Bollinger Bands, and we are obviously moving upward. And one thing that I do find very interesting here is the break of the trend line. So the break of the trend line, and I don't want to be too super bullish here because we do have the trend line that could be potentially forming here on the daily, moving ourselves down to this point here. I think we're not necessarily out of the woods, but I would say that the reaction that we just saw is looking pretty good. I would say that for us to remain bullish, because I think there is a case for the bulls here based on what we have seen this morning. In order for us to remain bullish, this is what I want to see. I want to see something like this. We have lots of support and resistance at this level. So I want to pay close attention to this, and this is sitting right at about 92.25. I want to see something like this happen, and I do expect that it will happen. So we had, as we can see here, support and resistance. So we broke through, and that was resistance for a while until it became, not resistance, and it moved through. And then we reclaimed that as support. We claimed it as support again, but on this one, it went down a bit further, which is kind of what we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for this to be rejected, which it did, but we're going to be looking for a comeback down here, and this is going to be a little later today. Likely this is going to take some time to resolve. I do think that we're going to have a little bit of a slow bleed, but once we come back down here to about 92.50, that's where I would be looking for leverage long positions, again, back to the upside, and I would be looking for a move back up to 9,800, maybe even 9,900. I do think that there is potential for us to get to the top of this trading range. And again, taking this trading range from the top that we had up here at 9,900. But if you're going to take this trade here at about 92.25, maybe we call it 9,200 for good measure, because it's likely that there is going to be a little bit of a wick down here, maybe to 91.90. Somewhere in this range is where I would be looking for those long positions, and it's likely going to happen later today. I would be looking down here, and I'll go ahead and put this as my my green box here. And I'm fully expecting that we come down here first off, and second off, if you're going to throw a stop loss on this, I would expect this area to be defended pretty heavily, because we've got a lot of defense that have already been forming here for the last day or so. So I would say a pullback down here is likely going to happen, but I would expect, since we are on the outside of this trend line, I would expect this to be defended pretty heavily, and I would expect that to be another spring to the upside. I would say at least we're going to move back up to this level here. So that's back up to about 94.75. The next area that I would be looking for as far as taking profit would go is going to be this cluster right here, which is going to be at about 95.50. So these are things to look for. Now, if we wanted to map what this is going to look like, let's go ahead and go down to a 15-minute time frame. And you can see we're already finding a little bit of support here in the 15. Not that I like doing this, but going to the 5-minute time frame, it looks like a little corrective phase has already completed. So we're likely going to be flagging here for just a little while. But I do think that there is eventually, as I mentioned, going to be some move to the downside here. Again, going back to the 15-minute time frame, let's go ahead and map this out, what this is potentially going to look like. And again, this is going to take a little bit of time. So we had our move up here, then we had a move down here, and then we're going to probably be doing something like this, and then we're going to have another move up here, and then we're going to have this move down here, and then this is where you're going to be looking to execute, and then what we're going to be expecting to see is a 1, 2, and then a 3, 4, 5. So this is what I'm looking for right now, a move that's going to look a little bit like this. What's going to end up happening is people are going to see this, and they're going to think of this, of course, I'm freehand drawing, so obviously this hasn't happened yet, but likely what's going to happen is people are going to see this as a little bit of a flag. People are going to see this as a bull flag, assuming this is what actually happens. Right? So this is still remains to be seen, but more than likely this can be seen as a bull flag. And then what I'm expecting to happen is we're going to do a fake out down, trap some shorts, right? And likely there's going to be some large bids down here that are going to be waiting to grab this position, and then we're going to rip up to the upside. Maybe we'll get caught back up inside of this cluster a little bit, but I do think that we are going to eventually push out of it. And when I say this cluster, again, this hasn't happened. This is kind of what I think is going to happen, but I would say there is going to be a fake out that's going to be down here to the downside. Likely this is going to be in ABC fashion, but people are likely going to mistake this for a bull flag. So you're going to see this ABC down here. taking us back down to that 9,200 level before we move back up to the upside. So give Bitcoin some time to cool off, some time to resolve. Likely I know I'm down at the 15-minute time frame now, but we're looking probably closer to daily close. The daily close is likely going to be where this is going to resolve, maybe slightly before daily close, a couple hours before. We're still talking about, I don't know, 8 hours from now, 10 hours from now. So lots of time to just sit back and wait and watch this resolve. But as long as we continue consolidating above this trend line, that is pretty bullish for me. So I'll go ahead and let this resolve. If we start pushing above 9,400 on a 15-minute time frame, if we push and close above 9,400 on a 15-minute time frame, then I do think that that's going to continue to the upside, and likely this scenario will not play out. But again, on the 15-minute time frame, I'm going to be looking for 9,400. Even if I went down to, say, a 30-minute time frame or an hourly time frame, it's likely going to be the same. Let me pull this up on a different exchange so we can look at this with a clear view. So yeah, even on this chart that we had from a couple days ago, we're still at the top of this danger zone here, but yeah, pushing up above 9,400, especially 9,450, would be really great to see. We did come down to this zone. You can see that I did this a long time ago, but yeah, it still held true. Good liquidity pool, and now we're going to be moving to the upside. So we'll wait and see how this resolves. But yeah, that's what I've got on Bitcoin right now. Just going to kind of wait on this move up, and I do think that we're going to get a move back down again to about 9,250, maybe down to 9,200, and I want to see that support resistance flip hold. And if it doesn't, of course, you've got your stop losses just a little bit lower, about 91.50. Give yourself about $100 leeway there, and then just kind of sit it out if you get stopped out. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to pop in the Discord. Be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. If you don't have an invite to the Discord, just throw a comment. I'll be more than happy to get you an invite. It doesn't cost you anything. And yeah, we're just a good group of people in there. Oh, let's see here. What else? I am going to be holding, a trading AMA session, sometime here in the near future. I did put an alert out on the Discord a while back to kind of talk through, what my plans are as far as time frames go and all of that. Probably not going to be something I'm going to be doing on YouTube. It's probably going to be more of a like a webinar type thing where we have people actually in the webinar able to speak and all of that to go through questions, charts, things of those sorts. So stay tuned for that. But again, that's going to be only really available for those that are in the Discord server. Just going to try and centralize that community just a little bit more and provide a little bit of benefits to those that are in it. Again, it doesn't cost anything to join. Just ask for an invite and I'll get you an invite code and you can get into that Discord server. Okay, I'll go ahead and close it out, but feel free to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Otherwise, I will catch you later. I'll be doing a video on Chainlink here in just